Hello everyone, today we're going to see typical problems modeling with Blender and how to solve them. So let's get started.
Subscribe now.
Problem number one. I'm going to talk about the mirror modifier and common problems when we are working with this modifier. Suppose you have this, you're modeling this mesh, and then you need to make a mirror. So you model this mesh, and then you go to the mirror modifier. I'm going to add it right now. I'm going to add modifier, and I'm going to select mirror modifier. I select mirror modifier, and you will notice that the mesh is like intersecting one mesh into the other. If I turn off the modifier, my mesh is this one. It ends right here. Suppose I want to mirror the geometry from here to the other side, okay? But when I activate the modifier, the mirror is not working as I pretend. So why the mirror modifier is doing like this? The mirror modifier is mirroring the object using the pivot point of the object. The pivot point. The pivot point, I'm going to move it. I'm going to move the cursor to other place so you can see exactly which is the pivot point. The pivot point is this little little orange yellow circle, as you can see there. Is the point where you can use the transformations. For instance, to move the object, you move it from the pivot point. If you rotate the object, you rotate the object from the pivot point. Okay. The gizmo, the manipulator, is always over the pivot point. And if you select scale, also you can scale it from the pivot point. Okay. This is the point where Blender uses as the origin of the object to make the transformations, move, rotate, and scale. So the mirror modifier also uses this pivot point. So why is the object intersecting each other? Because the pivot point is right here. So if you need to solve this situation, just you can turn off temporarily the mirror modifier, go to edit mode, select everything, select it with A, select everything. I'm going to turn on the shortcuts in the viewport so you can see what I'm pressing. Select everything with A, and then move it a little bit to in this case, to the left. Okay, you can move it right here. For instance, you can turn on the modifier. Now it's not intersecting each other, and then you can activate the clipping option. The clipping option prevents to cross over the symmetry axis. As you can see, this is how it works when the clipping option is deactivated. You can cross over from one side to the other, but if you turn on the clipping option, when the mesh gets into the axis symmetry, it won't pass through the symmetry axis. So it's a very simple way to solve this problem. Also, it's a very useful when you have, for instance, little imperfections or little holes in the symmetry axis, because when you were modeling, maybe you couldn't maintain the straight of the edges. So one way to solve this is activating the clipping. Alt click and select all the edge loops that are in the symmetry axis, like so, and then just move them until they get to the symmetry axis. So now everything is aligned. Okay, and there you go. So here I have other common problems. Other probably common are the overlapping vertices. What happens when we have overlapping vertices? Here I made overlapping vertices so you can see what problems can create. Apparently there is no problems, but if after the mirror modifier we add a subdivision surface modifier, I'm going to add it, you're going to see the problems of the mesh. I'm going to increase the subdivisions so you can see what are the problems. As you can see, for instance, here we have some tensions, some weird imperfections on the surface. Here we have this kind of a circle, this kind of deformation in the surface. Here we have other tensions. Here we have this kind of pinch, I don't know, or well, a lot of situations that maybe you had it once, or you probably will. So why are these things happening, and how we can solve them? There are several common problems that are overlapping vertices, so vertices that are one vertex over other vertex in the same place. So that generates problems on the surface. How we can solve this situation? I'm going to enter in edit mode. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to show you where are overlapping vertices. If I select this, for instance, and move it, you're going to notice, you're going to see that there are two vertices in the same place. Can you see? But here we have only one, and here we have two vertices in the same place. Also here. So how we can resolve this problem quickly? The simplest way is selecting everything with A and pressing M. M is the shortcut for merge vertices. And here we can select, when we merge vertices, we can convert, for instance, two vertices into one, or 10 vertices into one, or whatever we want. In this situation, when we have overlapping vertices are vertices that are in the same place as other vertices. We can use this option, merge by distance. Why? Because this option will merge only the vertices that are in the same place. One vertex over the same place of other vertex. So I'm going to choose by distance, and here we are going to see a legend that says how many vertices has been merged. So I'm going to press M, I'm going to choose by distance, and Blender has removed 13 vertices. Those 13 vertices were creating problems with the subdivision surface. So now I'm going to activate again the subdivision surface, and now you can see that these edge loops now are okay. Yes, okay. There's no weird imperfections in the surface. Also, it removed the surface problem here in this side, on this side. But we still have this problem. Here we have a problem, so I'm going to check if there are overlapping vertices. So I'm going to edit mode, I'm going to select only one vertex, I'm going to move it, and there's, as you can see, there aren't overlapping vertices. There are only one vertex in each position. So how can we know which is the problem? So another thing you can do to check which is the problem is activating the face orientation of the surface. So you can go here to this option, to this button, and turn off face orientation in the viewport. This is a visualization option. I'm going to turn it on, and now we can see that almost everything is blue and only this polygon is red. Which is the meaning of these colors? Blue. All the polygons has normals. The normals are, I'm going to show you this so you can understand what is happening here. I'm going to turn on the normals with this button, normals, polygon normals, and as you can see, when I turn on this option, you're going to see this kind of lines, of blue lines, light blue lines in the center of each polygon. These lines are always in an angle of 90 degrees between the line and the polygon. If I rotate the polygon, always is in 90 degrees between the line and the polygon, and the line is only one side, is in one side of the polygon. So here you can see the polygon with the normal, and in the other side you can't see the normals, the lines. Okay, so these normals are showing also the positive sides of the angles. I say that are the positive sides, so it's a way to explain it. So the polygon is not the same one side of the polygon than the other. This is like a coin. It has two sides, a positive side and a negative side. When you are modeling, the idea is that the polygons, the normals of the polygons, these lines, need to be oriented to to the world, to the environment. It's like the hair in our heads. The hair is outside the head, or outside the skull or the brain. So this is the same. The normals usually, or almost always, have to be pointing outside the geometry. And as you can see, this polygon is the normal is pointing inwards. All are pointing correctly, and only this one is pointing inwards. So how we can solve this? This is the polygon that is showing red. So red is when we are seeing the negative side of the polygon, and blue is when we are seeing the positive side. So normally everything should be blue. There's no problem if you see the inner part as red, because it's normal. It's okay, because this is the negative side and this is the positive side. But the part of the model that we need to normally see, it should be shown as blue. Okay, so how we can solve this? Simple, select everything with A and go to Mesh, Menu, Normals, and select Recalculate Outside. Recalculate Outside, we're going to press this option. Well, it did it wrong. It did it to the other side. So I'm going to press undo. I'm going to flip only this polygon. I'm going to select this polygon. I'm going to select Mesh, Normals, and I'm going to click Flip. Why Blender did wrong the Recalculate Outside? Because this surface, Blender can't know how should we pointing the normals of this surface, because it doesn't have volume, so it's impossible to know. But if this would be more like a volume, I'm going to add here, for instance, a sphere, a UV sphere, and I flip. I'm going to turn off the show normals, and if I flip some of the faces, for instance, Mesh, Normals, Flip, so it's a problem. You can select everything and go to Mesh, Normals, Recalculate Outside, and will automatically fix the problem. But it fixes it because the sphere is a volume, and it's easier to understand which part of the model is the inner part and which part of the model is the outer part. So now if we want to delete this sphere, and if I turn on again the mirror modifier and the subdivision modifier, and I'm going to turn off the face orientation, everything looks okay. So we fixed the overlapping vertices, we fixed the orientation of the normals. What else? We fixed the problem with the symmetry with the mirror modifier. And there's one thing I would like to show you, and is this. You need to add first the mirror modifier and then the subdivision surface. Many times it happens that you add the subdivision surface before the mirror modifier. So when you add the subdivision surface first and then the mirror modifier, this is what it happens. If you add the subdivision surface first, the subdivision surface subdivides the geometry, the mesh, and also it makes the surface more rounded, so appears like some weird situations here. So if this happens with your model, also maybe have a common problem also is this. I'm going to show you. Is this like you see a sharp edge where it should be a rounded surface. This is because you added first the extrusion surface and then the mirror modifier. You need to add first the mirror modifier. I'm going to move it upwards like so, and then you need to add the extrusion surface. Why? Because when you add the mirror modifier, the mirror modifier has this option, the merge option. The merge, what it does, it merges the vertices. I want to turn off the extrusion surface. It merges the vertices. I want to turn off the clipping so you can see. It merges these two vertices, because when you have the mirror modifier, there are two vertices in each vertex. There are two vertices, as you can see. So when you have the merge option activated, automatically the mirror modifier leaves only one vertex, because it merged the two vertices together. So when the mirror modifier is added and then the extrusion surface, when the extrusion surface begins to divide and make the surface more rounded, these vertices are already merged. So when you activate the extrusion surface, it can make the surface more rounded. Also, look, if I turn off the merge option, it will happen the same. So I think that was all the things I wanted to show you today. I hope this could be useful. Please subscribe and see you in next time.